Safari, NDG Linux Essentials, Chapter 1 Introduction to Linux, Window, Content, Objectives, Key Terms, Tab Group, Link, 1.1, Link, 1.2, Link.
Okay, I'll stop it there. I've got the Safari up and running. This works better with the with VoiceOver. So this is an unscripted, so excuse any blunders I make, which I shall make many of. Where at the moment, if we look at this black line that's on the screen, this is one of the nice things about VoiceOver. We can actually see where the focus is on the web page itself. All right, Windows doesn't do this, most of them anyway. All right, so at the moment we can move back out. We use Control Option up arrow, Shift up arrow.
Out of NDG Linux Essentials, Chapter 1 Introduction to Linux, Web Content.
And that basically moves us up a level. All right, so if I go up again, we're at the top. So this is the entire frame for web. All right, so at the moment we can see the black line covers the entire web content. We'll go down one level.
And NDG Linux Essentials, Chapter 1 Introduction to Linux, Web Content. 6 items, content, objectives, key terms, tab group, link, 1.1, link, 1.2, link, 1.2.1, link.
All right, that's going to go through and read absolutely everything that is there. And this is one of the main things that's got to be, try to be a little bit succinct, short, brief, where we can. But we can navigate around. So what we need to do is we look where we are.
Content, objectives, key terms, tab group, link, 1.1, link, 1.2, link, 1.2.1, link, 1.2.
We're going to interact with this particular frame. So again, it's Control Option and Shift down.
21 items in group with 21 items. 20 items, content, objectives, key terms, tab group.
And now we can Control Option down arrow.
Link, one link, link,
and we can
link,
move through
1, 2, 2. You are currently on a link inside of a group. To click this link, press Control Options.
If we want to go into there, we press Control Option Spacebar.
Press link, 1, 2, 2.
So no problem. Let's try and get to the next bit.
Link, 1, 2, link, 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 previous, group, link, link, previous. 2 items in group with 2 items. 2 items, link, previous, group, out of group with 2 items.
You see the bar?
You are currently on a group inside of a group. To interact with items in this group, press Control.
That is a group. So now we can move into
link,
that and
previous,
go
link,
to
previous, group, 2 items in group with 2 items. 2 items, link, previous, group.
Okay, so now we can go to the buttons by interacting with that larger dialog box.
Out of group with 2 items.
Control Option Shift down.
2 items in group with 2 items. 2 items, link, previous, group.
Option
Link,
right,
next,
move us
group.
to next.
You are currently on a group inside of a group. To interact with items in this group, press
Control Option Spacebar.
Press link, next.
It does next. All right. Now we've got to
Link,
find a way.
next link, next link, link, previous, out of group with
text.
Heading level 2, 1, 2, 3 roll of open source, Linux stuff.
Which basically means we have to go back to the heading level, the group, which was the next and previous buttons. Stop interacting with that group, move Control Option up arrow to get to the main body of the text. And now
link,
we can
previous, group, heading level 2, 1, 2, 3 roll of open source. Linux started out in 1991 as a hobby project by Linus Torvalds. He made the source freely available and others joined in to shape.
And that'll read it to us, not a problem. If we want to go through it slowly, we can interact with it. Again, Control Option Shift down
8
arrow.
items in article with 8 items. 8 items, heading level 2, 1, 2, 3 roll of open source.
And we can move line by Control Option.
Linux started out in 1991 as a hobby project by Linus Torvalds. He made the source freely available and others joined in to.
We can also get it sentence by sentence, so I'll do Control Option Shift down
In
arrow
text,
again.
Linux started out in 1991 as a hobby project by Linus Torvalds. He made the source freely available and others.
And I'll continue reading. We can now go Control Option Shift down arrow. Oops, it's lost it.
Was a built from scratch project. Early adopters had the ability to influence the
And line by line.
project's direction and to make sure mistakes from other users were not
Just using the arrow key there.
repeated. Software projects take the form of source code, which is a human readable set.
All right.
You are currently on a text element inside of a group. To exit this group, press Control Option Shift up arrow out of group with 3 items.
I'm going to Control Option Shift up arrow to get back
Out of
to
article
the
with 8
upper level.
items.
So we keep going.
Out of group with 21 items.
We're now on that frame. Now we're going to try and go across.
Horizontal splitter expanded. You are currently on a group inside of web content. To interact with items in this group, press Control Option Shift down arrow. To exit this web area, press Control Option Shift up arrow.
All right, so we're in there. So we want to interact with this. So it's Control Option Shift down arrow.
3 items in group with 3 items. 2 items, Ubuntu PC, 1 link tab group.
Okay, so that's what's in there. We'll do it again to see what we get. Nothing. Now this is where we have the problem. Sometimes I can get in by the Control Option down arrow. Sometimes I can't. It's a bit of playing around to get in there. So what we're going to try and do is click on it, which is not going to work. We're going to try just using the arrow keys.
Link 1. You are currently on a tab group inside of a group. Messages. JG.
So
Josh
what we're
Gilchrist.
doing
When
there
link. Reset.
is we're
You
looking,
are currently on a tab group inside of a group. To exit this group, press Control Option Shift up arrow.
we're using a positional thing to find out what's there. Now, I can't actually get around anywhere now.
W. You are currently on a text element inside of a group. To exit this
we've
group,
got in
press
there.
Control Option Shift up arrow.
Now, that is because I moved the focus to a particular point within that window and it started reading. It says it's a text element. We can get in there, I hope Okay, so we're actually in there now. So you can see that. But what are we reading? That's what we don't know.
Root, colon, sysadmin, press the enter key to begin. Group
So
with 3
we've got
items.
in by
You are currently on a group inside of a group.
using that locate items on screen. That was that blue bar that you saw move across. Found where the image is for the virtual machine, interacted with that, and now I'm actually into the virtual machine itself. Now, many problems here, you've probably noticed. It was time consuming and complex and a bit hit and misses whether we got in there. When we want to know what the instructions are to do with this, we need to now jump back to the text that's on the left, find out what we're meant to be doing, and then somehow navigate our way back to the screen, which, as you saw, was a little messy and complex. So this is very, very time consuming. But now that we're in here, we'll have a look. We can navigate using the navigation keys, Control Option and arrows.
The programs in the exact interview app sit tilt dash slash home slash sysadmin.
But again, notice we were starting at the top of the screen. We've got to go all the way to the bottom to type something in. If I type a command in, I get nothing. That's the problem. We go down.
Sysadmin at localhost, sysadmin at localhost, sysadmin at localhost, colon, tilde, $LS, group with 4 items.
But we can go back and
Desktop, documents, downloads, music, pictures, public, templates, videos, group with 16 items. Out of group with 24 items. 24 items in group with 24 items. 16 items in group with 16 items. Documents, download, music, pictures, public, templates, videos. You are currently on a text out of group with 6 sysadmin at localhost, colon, tilde, $, group with 6 items.
Again, if we type something in, no feedback. We've got to go back.
Slash home slash sysadmin at localhost, desktop, documents, downloads, sysadmin slash home slash sysadmin at localhost, colon, tilde, $, group with 4 items. You are currently on a group inside of a group. To interact with items in this group, press out of group with 3 out of NDG Linux Essentials, Chapter 1 Introduction.
At times, it's going to be very difficult to get back into there. So we'll try again.
To Linux web content.
Once we've located it, it tends to be a little bit easier to get back in.
Application.
Okay, I'll just pop back in just to had to fix something on Camtasia, but here we go again. We're going to go and try and find
Safari, NDG Linux Essentials, Chapter 1 Introduction to Linux window, NDG Linux Essentials.
Get back into that virtual machine. I've wound the voiceover volume back down. I noticed the talk volume was much lower than the voiceover volume, but I hope you can hear it anyway. All right, so we're back to the overall view. We're at the top level of the page. The black line, as you can see, is all the way around the web content. So we're going to start moving through. So we'll just use the Control Option keys and the arrows.
NDG Linux Essentials. NDG Linux Essentials. Chapter 1 Introduction.
We have to interact with the web page content, which is that whole screen. So in we go. Control Option Shift down arrow.
And NDG Linux Essentials. Chapter 1 Introduction to Linux web content. 6 items. Ubuntu PC. Link. 1. Link. Reset. Tab group. Press the enter key to begin. Group with 3 items.
Okay, so we're into that particular frame again. Don't ask me why I went to that one first. We just did. So
horizontal splitter. Expanded. Share. Collapsed.
So
Pop-up. Content. Objectives. Key terms. Tab group. Link.
Using the Control Option left and right arrows, we can go through each of the items here. So if we look,
there's share. Collapsed. Pop-up button. Link. Help. Group. NDG Linux Essentials. You are currently on a text element inside of web content. NDG share content horizontal splitter. Expand Ubuntu PC. Link. 1. Link.
So
reset. Tab.
We're going to interact with that using Control Option Shift down arrow.
3 items in group with 3 items. 2 items. Ubuntu PC. Link. 1. Link. Reset. Tab group.
Okay, and they're the things that we have in this particular frame. And we can't do anything there. Control Option Shift down arrow does nothing.
Press the enter key to begin. Group with 3 items. The programs included with the Ubuntu system of free software. The exact distribution terms for each program are described in the individual files in Slack.
Click in there by using Control Option Spacebar. Nothing. So again, it's not working. So what we'll try and do is then interact with that particular object, which is our virtual machine.
1 item 24 out notification center. Calendar image. You are currently on an image. So
now we're in, and it's exactly the same.
9/3/18. calendar image 9/3/invitation from Nancy
Sorry, that
Antoine.
just popped up. And
You
of
are currently on a
course,
text
got
element.
focus on
Safari, NDG Linux Essentials, Chapter 1, Introduction to
focus on
Linux,
all those
window,
things.
sys 4 items in group with 6 items,
so now we
NDG
can-
Linux Essential, content, objective, content, horizontal split, Ubuntu
We've lost
PC,
it
link,
by
1, link, risk,
Another problem. Something pops up, grabs focus, we lose focus on the virtual machine again.
that.
So here we are, we're in there.
3 items in group with 3 items, 2 are music, downloads, documents,
All right.
music, downloads, downloads, out of group with 16 items.
And now
Sysadmin /homes sysadmin localhost $, group with 6 items. You are currently on a group inside of a group. To interact with items in this group,
Alright,
press
so there we
Control
are
Option Shift down arrow. To exit this group, press Control Option Shift up arrow.
So if we type something again, there we are. Oops, hang on. We're not getting there. So there we go, we've got another problem there. For some reason, even though it looks like we're interacting with it, we're not. So let's try
4 items in group with 4 items.
interacting.
4 items. Sysadmin localhost.
Still not working.
Downloads. You are part of group with 16. Sysadmin localhost $.
Somehow we've got
You
a
are
tick in
desktop.
here.
You are currently on a text element inside of a group. To exit this group, press
we're
Control
back
Option
in.
Shift up arrow.
That was done by using the Control Option space bar to click in there, which luckily the mouse happened to be over. It shouldn't have made any difference if we test Control Option and click.
Downloads.
And it's
You are
still
currently
back
on a
in
text
there.
element inside of a group. To exit this group, press Control Option Shift up arrow.
Right, we're still there, but we get no feedback from that. So what I'll do is I'll just pause this. I'll go off and open up a terminal, or I might even try to get a virtual machine up and running, which I should have here already, and I shall telnet into it.
Terminal 210,799 -80 times 24 window shell text last login Tuesday.
Okay, so what I've done is I've fired up the VMware Fusion, the new version, Fusion 10, and immediately ran across a problem which I shall show you in a second. However, if we are looking at most Unix/Linuxy type things, there's of course slight differences. If you've got a Mac, you can actually use the terminal. So this actually works quite well. As you can see, it's just loaded up. I've got it at the front there, and if I type something in,
LS new line LS applications desktop Google Drive OneDrive
It
free
starts
books
reading.
library pictures VirtualBox VM CS _ demo
We
documents
can,
movies
of
public
course,
log
go in and
out of
interact
scroll
with
area $3.20 full screen button no visible type no visible to
that. Oops, I've gone in the wrong
this
place.
button
Sorry.
also no visible title to interact
I've broken it.
scroll area.
There we go.
You are currently on a scroll area.
So
To
I
begin
can
interacting with the
interact
content scroll area. 2 items shell text split pane button shell text and text
There we go.
$3.20 connect
And
me
I can
downloads
go
music
through-
CS _ demo documents movies public log. You are books glossary library pictures VirtualBox VMs.
And there we go. I can actually go in and look around, interact with it further, break it down into small parts.
Application books.c connect $3.20
And if I go back
LS
here-
new line LS applications desktop P WD space PWD
there we go.
/users
So that works perfectly well. We can go in and do
$3.20
other things like Vim and what have you,
VIM new line
and it all
tilde
works.
tilde tilde tilde
So we can go.
applications desktop Google Drive OneDrive up free books glossary library J AELO hello
And there it is there.
$WQ
Oops, I'm slowing this out. I'm terrible at Vim. I don't like Vim. Anyway, so that all works fine. We'll get back out of that in a second.
VMware Fusion
If
Ubuntu
we go
64-bit server
to-
16041
Using VMware Fusion, which is pretty much the same with VMware for Windows as well, we have the standard sort of problem with a very, very badly written application as far as accessibility goes. You can see the black box sitting around the toolbar. That all looks good,
Toolbar.
so it looks like a nice start.
into no visible title to ensure snapshots but
We can get
devices
to
group.
these.
You
We can
account
get into
devices
those.
network hard disk CDs sound
That's all
card connect out of toolbar.
Right,
You
so
are
we can
currently
get
on
to
a
the
toolbar
title
to
all
interact
very
with the
well,
items on this
but
toolbar. Press Control Option
when we try to do anything within the machine itself,
in toolbar no visible title to out of toolbar
we get blip,
toolbar
Control Option, left and
full
right
minimize
arrows,
button close minimize
only deal
toolbar.
with the menu bar.
You are currently on a toolbar
We
to
have
interact
no
with the
way
items on
of
this toolbar.
getting to
Press
that next
toolbar full screen button
square
full screen button. This button also has an action
that
to zoom the window.
contains
You are currently
the virtual machine. If I cheat and I click inside it, again, nothing. So we cannot use VMware Fusion as an option. Now, I was setting up the ability to SSH into this, but it's not going too well for me. If we SSH into it, it works exactly the same way as it would under terminal, and everything is honky-dory, everything works fine. So take my word for that one, because I want to just get this finished off, load it up, share it with you on YouTube, and you can have a little look around. Hope this helps in some way. Happy to answer any further questions you have. Just let me know if we can help any further. Oh, I take that back. I'm going to go and do one other thing. Let's go back to Safari. And I want to find some pictures, so just bear with me 1 second.
Finder, Vimeo Fusion, window, icon view, collection. View Camtasia 3 menu, 4 items. Safari, NDG Linux Essentials, Chapter 1 Introduction to Linux,
Okay,
window.
I'm hoping this is
Michael,
recording
2014, January,
This is
February.
actually quite interesting. Where we've got images like this has turned out rather well. I just was randomly looking around for some images, but if we have a look here, I
And
can
text,
interact with
1,
this.
2, 3, 4, 1, 1. 5, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Okay, we can see we can access this, but this is a classic example of something that is accessible but completely unusable. With these calendars, as I said, we can see everything. We can access individual dates.
Out
I
of
can
text,
go in,
and text, 10 items in, and text. Sys, colon,
right, and
tilde,
look
dots,
at
A.
each element here.
Sumo space. Sumo 2 ETHFRSASU and text. Michael.
That's not
Michael.
but it makes no sense because all it's reading rows and rows of numbers. So that sort of thing is accessible but not actually useful. We would find a different way of creating that particular functionality. So I'm just looking for another image. So I'm using the mouse. I might just pause that and I'll go through and find one.
Camtasia 3 menu, 4 items. Safari, NDG
Okay,
Linux
so here we are,
Essentials,
just
Chapter
grab
2
another
open source
chapter. We'll go
applications
to
and licenses.
We'll go to a standard sort of image. We've got the text, which we can access really easily.
In this chapter, we will become familiar with several open source applications and tools. We will also discuss open source software and licensing.
Okay,
You
now
are
we'll go
currently on
to
a
the
text
image, see
element
what
inside
happens.
of the article. To exit this group, press Control Option. In this chapter, we will out of article with 2 visited link previous group link next group with 2 items visited link heading level 2 2.1 introduction to item in this chapter heading level in this chapter we will become familiar with several.
There is one of our problems. We cannot see what this image says. There is no description and no link to get to it. So these are the sort of things we need to create some sort of background image for. Fairly standard sort of problem on a web page, but I can't see any way to actually get into that. Let's pause that and I'll have a look for another one.
Camtasia 3 menu, 4 items, Safari, NDG Linux Essential.
Okay, one other thing we need to have a look at some point is the examinations, but unfortunately I've run out of time at the moment. So what I'm going to do is close this off, publish it on YouTube, and let you know where it is. All right, so as I said, keep in touch. Let me know if there's anything else.
Virtual machine library, now in
help with.
64-bit server 16041 window, full screen.
Okay.
Camtasia 3 menu,